questions for Coach?
Hope kind of joke that, you know, these slow starts, they like to make things interesting and then ultimately find a way to win this thing. As a coach, when you see now 2 games in a row, I know the concern, the slow starts, but to be able to overcome both of those slow starts like you guys have, while you don't want to see the one, obviously it's good to see the fight that they continue to show.
I mean, that carries from even last year. The resiliency is the word that we used a lot last year, and I think this bunch is just resilient, and they believe that they can continue to compete. There's been games last year we came back from 17 down in 1-ball games, and so we can put points up in a hurry, and what's happening is we're getting off to a poor defensive start. And we've got to do a better job of that. And that's my fault. That's everybody's fault. We've got to come together and really lock in on defense. We give a 30-point first quarter. And this has happened multiple games where we just get off to a really poor defensive start. And then we come back and hold them to 7 points in the second quarter, where we had a stretch where we held them scoreless for 5 possessions and then 7 possessions. So 12 of their possessions in the second quarter, they didn't score. We've got to do that from the jump ball. And we've just got to get locked in and get ready to play. And we've tweaked some things with our warm-up, but it really comes down to just a mental approach to the game and being ready to go. And so I think that's, once we do that, maybe we can control some games rather than make them so exciting, as Hope says.
We talked about Maya after UTSA start to come around. When you see what she did today, she really seemed to want the ball in late, want the ball in her hands. Kind of the Maya we saw a lot last year.
Well, she's a clutch player. I mean, and we want the ball in her hands. And I thought what she did really well tonight was she played within herself as she is right now. She didn't play as she can play or as she played over a year ago. She's just playing where she is right now with her recovery and with her comeback. And you know, that pull-up jump shot's hard to stop. And if you don't stop it, she's a pretty good free throw shooter. And so I think that she's added, you know, you got to guard the 3-point line, and if you let her get to the mid-range, that's a double dose. And so I think she did a really good job of, and then we were really talking on defense a lot more today. I've really felt like Maya was a big key in that and making sure we were communicating and just solving problems as they were happening.
Oh, it may not look at the stat line. I thought Teresa, too, came in, and that seemed to be when the 3-point perimeter defense got a little better. Just her presence on the floor kind of changed things. And I know people look at the stats and may not see just how big she was for you guys to get back in that game.
She was huge in the UT San Antonio game, kept pressure up on the ball handler really well. And what she does, I think, maybe the best of anybody on the team. And Josie Gilvin did a great job in that as well tonight. I always tell them, presence is pressure. And if you're not there, there's no pressure. But you've got to be there. And so Teresa and Josie do a good job of staying there. They stay where they're supposed to be. They stay in front of the ball. They don't over-gamble and get out of position and force us to have to rotate and cover up. And so that's what Teresa did tonight. In that second quarter, she was really good at just making sure she was in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time.
What's it say, though, for your defense? As rough as it was in the first quarter, as we were talking there down the stretch, they don't get a shot off the last 2 possessions with chances to tire and take the lead.
And that's team play. That's team play because they've got several, not just 1 or 2. They've got several really good 3-point shooters. And we came out and played that zone, and the fear is you're going to leave somebody wide open for a catch-and-shoot 3. But they talked. They kept pressure up on the passer. They rotated. Hope came up with a pretty easy but a big steal down the stretch there. And so that's really team play. That's working together. That's solving problems as the game's being played and just communicating the whole time you're on the floor.
So I'd like to have all those kids. It seemed like there was a little more energy in there today.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, and the others, you know, I think the teachers and the administrators for letting the kids come and making sure and the bus drivers for getting them here. I feel bad for them because now they're going to go back after having an hour and a half worth of concessions, and they'll probably be wired for the bus ride home. But it's great to have them here. It's even better to have all those young kids see all the Lady Toppers, see all these. You never know which one's going to say, I want to be like number 1, or I want to be like number 5, or I really like you never know which one's going to be a role model. And so it's good for them to look out there and maybe see themselves sometimes.
It seems like in those couple games we just kind of slipped away, like MTSU, North Texas, and those. One of the key things that you pointed out was fouling and sending the other team to the free throw line. In this game, it was the complete opposite. I mean, they were 4 for 8 from the free throw line. You all were 19 for 26. And just being able, especially at the end of the game, to force those turnovers, force those fouls, to get you all at the foul line, to create that more of a divide where it's not even as close of a game.
You should come coach the team. That's exactly what we talk about, is playing defense without fouling. We talk about fouling erases hustle. And so you can work your tail off and then you foul. It doesn't matter, because the best field goal percentage shooter is still probably not as good as the worst free throw percentage shooter. And so when you put them at the free throw line, that's why they call them free throws. You can't guard them up there, and those are easy. And I thought tonight we did a really good job, especially we were pressing the whole game. The whole game we were pressing. And so to keep pressure on the ball and to keep that defensive presence there without fouling was huge. And DeShields, can't think of her first name, Denham's really, really crafty and hard to guard, because she's not just good at getting to the rim, she's not just fast, she's really smart and being able to draw fouls. And so we did a pretty good job of making sure we didn't put her at the free throw line all night. Thank you guys for coming.